everybody. Are you sick and tired of fighting with your buddy at the racetrack because somebody forgot to turn on the CO2, or you ran out of CO2 and you just lost because you're an idiot like me, which I've done before? So we came up with a solution. So we've been using these for a little while on customers' cars, and we decided to put together a little kit to make life a bit easier for everybody. Every customer we put them into has been extremely happy about it. So if you've got CO2 for boost control and air shifters and parachute handles and parachutes themselves, it can become cumbersome. The majority of regulators on the market are these big, huge brass things. They're like this big. They got 2 gauges, and then they got the big, T handle, to dial up pressure. And then they only go up to about 100 pounds. So let me explain what we got here. Standard CO2 bottle. Sorry, Doug, this is an old one that I had sitting around, so I used it for display purposes. We can get you set up with a CO2 bottle if you need it. If you've already got it, it's cool too. So first thing is a shutoff valve. So what this does is this is a continuous duty shutoff valve. The way we do these is, well, it's pretty obvious what you do. Something I want to point out, it's got a little O-ring already embedded in here, which is pretty sweet. So put this thing on your CO2 bottle, and you can hook up your crappy regulator that you already have and be off to the races. The way we set these things up is typically we set a switch in the car that we call like a master enable. So before a car makes a pass, you have to turn on the boost button or whatever. We use the output from the relay or the PDM, and we send a signal over to the ECU to tell the ECU, hey, we're ready to race, master enable's on, whatever it may be. What you do is you tie it into that same relay output and you power this solenoid up. So that way, this isn't tight, but that way, there you go. I didn't even tighten it, I just opened it. You can kind of hear the CO2 purge. I'll show you. Come on, honey. There you go, you heard it. There's already CO2 in the bottle. All I do is tighten this thing up by hand, it seals up. So with this thing off, or with this thing not energized, it doesn't allow CO2 to come out, right? So this is rated for continuous duty, so you can leave this thing on for hours if you wanted to. I don't recommend it because it does draw about 1.75 amps, right around call it 2 amps. Do not drive it straight from the ECU. So there's your warnings, run it off of a relay. So anyway, this is your shutoff valve. So you can leave this CO2 bottle open for eternity. In fact, Justin, my employee, our employee, has his CO2 tank in the trunk of his Chevelle, and it is kind of a pain to get to, and he has left it open for like 2 years. And it doesn't matter because when he's ready to make a pass, boom, and your CO2 bottle's still full. So it winds up saving you money because filling these things is a pain because they only want to swap them out. They don't want to actually fill this bottle. It's a pain to hunt somebody down. If you're like me, you have a big mother bottle and then you fill them up yourself, whatever. But this little guy does the trick. Then we've got 2 different regulators that we're going to start carrying. So we'll talk about this one first. This one, single pressure outlet, right? So if you've got, say, an air shifter, boost control solenoids, and a chute handle, this will work great. This is a single pressure. You adjust it with this dial, right? It's got bottle pressure here, and it's got output pressure here. Easy to adjust, yada, yada. 1/4-inch NPT output, very high flow. And it is, and they're actually cheaper than those cheesy, like $139 big gaudy regulators with the big stupid gauges on them. So what you would do, thread this bad Larry right to here, and you get rid of that big crappy regulator that you had. So this is like a pretty big, standoff here. So what we're gonna do is if you buy one of these and you buy a regulator, either regulator, doesn't matter. What we do in-house is we use a little 1/4-inch NPT nipple. So you pull this off, You pull this off, you put the nipple in, and it shortens everything up by about 1.5 inches. So it brings everything in a little bit tighter. If you don't, you know, whatever. We're just gonna give you these things. So if you don't want to use it, I don't care. Use this, doesn't matter. Then you have some other options, like these are just 1/4 inch NPT pipe nipples, or pipe elbows. So you could put this on like this with a 90, with a 45, doesn't matter. We're also not gonna put the sticker on before we ship it to you, because this can be rotated, you know, like this, upside down, and it'll look goofy. So do it yourself. Or don't put our sticker on it. I don't care, just buy them. So that's a single output regulator, already has gauges on it, good to go. If you wanted to, you could, right here in this inlet, or on this outlet here, the inlet here, you could tap into this with a T, and you could put a pressure transducer here. And then you can program the ECU to do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Like what we do with cars is we reference this pressure transducer and say, if CO2 bottle pressure is less than 400 PSI, turn on the dome light output that's CAN bused over to the PDM. So it's a bunch of cool stuff that you could do. Or if you're using relays, you could program it in Holly software to, you know, turn on an output if you wanted to, or a warning light on your dash. You can also, obviously, if you've got a CO2 bottle pressure transducer, you can reference that and put it in your dash so that you can see what CO2 bottle pressure is before you make a pass. So if you hit your master enable and there's no CO2 pressure, that's because your buddy came over here and shut it. And he was like, I'm gonna save you some CO2 and I'm gonna shut this thing down. Or you thought you should shut it, whatever. So you can always reference that. So all you do is you go to the track, open this bad Larry up, and leave it open all day, and you never have to worry about it. You don't have to have your friend, Adam, rip the door open and scream into the car, did you turn on the CO2? When the CO2 bottle is literally like right next to him with a gauge that tells him that there's X amount of pressure in it, and he still does it anyway. Adam. Okay, moving on. Sorry, a little vent there. So, some basic NPT fittings, yada yada. That's first regulator. Second regulator, dual output regulator. So, lots of guys are going to air chutes, and air chutes, a lot of the air chutes, White Safety, Simpson, there's another brand, I don't remember who it is. They all require 150, 175, 200 PSI. They require more than what your boost control solenoids, what your shifter requires. So your common MAC valve that operates your shifter, that operates your boost control solenoid, or which is your boost control solenoids, maybe air shocks, like the car we're working on right now, has like air shocks on it. So that solenoid, or that solenoid valve, can't handle more than like 120 PSI max. So if you're gonna run, say, 200 to your chutes and 100 to everything else, this is the perfect solution. So I'm a big fan of these. We put these in lots of cars. So same deal, already has a fitting on it. You buy them both from us, you get a little NPT nipple, not a big deal, but whatever. And we'll put together like a little package. They'll be on the website when this video airs. I don't know what pricing is. You'll have to go to the website because we just got everything in-house today, so I decided to just whip up a video. We're also gonna throw in the correct little fitting that makes life a heck of a lot easier. So this is just a little simple 1/8 inch NPT T fitting. Thread this bad Larry on here. And now you've got a gauge. There you go. And a source for a pressure transducer. Oops, look at that. There you go. So now you've got this same pressure transducer that can talk to the ECU like we would here, like we discussed before. Plus you have a gauge on here, which is going to give you CO2 bottle pressure. So you can obviously add more gauges here if you wanted to, if you wanted mechanical gauges here. My suggestion would be the beauty of these things is kind of set it and forget it, right? So once the regulators are set, you're good to go. Now, this regulator is a little bit different, okay? This has got a nice knurled knob on it, you know, yada, yada. Very nice, real easy to turn. This one does not. This is one of the reasons I actually like this a lot. This is why I don't really care to have gauges on here, because if you bump this, you'll change the pressure. If you bump this, it's locked via these little Allen keys, these little set screws, right? So I've already bumped these loose, right? So these are loose. Now you tighten that thing back up and you can't turn this thing, okay? I'm like trying, can't turn it. Loosen it up. Now you can turn it. So this is sold, or this is thought to be a non-adjustable regulator, but in all reality, it is actually adjustable. So what you do is you set it to the pressure that you want. When we do these, we use like a little cheap gauge that goes to like 400 PSI, and we just put it in line with a piece of push lock hose, because you're gonna wind up using push lock off all this stuff, or 3AN or whatever it is. And we just tap into each port, we set the pressure, and then tighten it down, and the customer never has to touch it again. You, the owner, the racer, never has to touch it again. So dual output, both independently adjustable and easy to adjust. And once they're locked down, this is nice, right? Because that same person that is reaching into your door and yelling, "Did you turn on the CO2 bottle?" is the same person who's walking over and doing this, right? He's definitely doing this. Like, there's no way he's not doing this, right? Or you know, because it's a shiny knob and you're like, I have to do this, right? So the dual output ones are pretty slick. We potentially may carry a single outlet that isn't adjustable or has the same type of adjustment like this. But for now, this is what we're gonna carry. Anyway, check out our website. We'll have little packages put together with pressure transducers and, you know, a slew of little fittings and yada yada. Make your life a little bit easier. We may even put packages together with like CO2 bottle. I don't know. It depends on how much effort Laura wants to put into the website and product pages. So, all right, that's it. Save your CO2 and go racing. See ya. All right, so this is what I was explaining to you the other day about automatic shutoff valve and all that. So if we go up here and press, so right now the valve's shut. Let me zoom out. So valve shut. If I go up here, press the boost master enable, your dome light comes on because the valve's shut. Open the valve. That's just your boost control solenoids, and that's normal. There we go. Over 400 PSI shuts off your dome light. But if your valve is shut, I'm gonna press the trans brake to activate the boost control solenoids. Look at that, it popped the dome light back on because our pressure came down.